Hi everyone, welcome back to the Bookworms Buddy, and today is my January wrap-up and my February TBR. So I'm just going to get started. I'm not going to do huge reviews on these. In the comment or in the description below, you can go read all of my reviews on my blog page. I'll link that down there. So anyway, the first book for me was Patient Zero by Jonathan Mayberry. Awesome zombie series so far. I love Joe Ledger. He is a rough and tough kind of guy, and he stands up for what he believes in. He doesn't get pushed around. The premise of the story was there was a bunch of terrorists who released a serum and turned people into zombies, and he was called upon to help fight this and bring a stop to it. So this is the very first book. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. Next one I read was Magic by Angie Sage. This is the first book in the Septimus Heap series. I love the cover, as you all know by now after watching my videos. This is actually a reread. I read the first 4 already, and I wanted to read them over because I got the other books to read in the series. If you like Harry Potter, you're probably really going to like this. This one's a little toned down a little bit from Harry Potter, though. It's more for like middle school, I guess, but it's still really good. And there was a lot of things that I was reminded of reading this again. I'm really enjoying it all over again. The whole story is Septimus Heap is the 7th son of a 7th son. He's a very special kind of guy, and they're trying to find their son because in the very beginning of the book he gets taken away. They said he died, and that's all I'm going to say. So if you really like Harry Potter, you should really check this one out. Next one I read, Book Thief by Marcus Zusak. This, I've got to say, is my favorite book so far of 2014. I've never felt so many emotions in my life reading a book, and I really loved the German history that you get. You don't really realize exactly what kind of stuff was going on, and this really opens your eyes to how it was back there in historic Germany, back in the 1930s and 1940s. And the characters were so beautiful. They were beautifully curated, and Marcus Zusak really has a great talent for creating his characters and so much realism, and I totally enjoyed that book. So glad I finally read it. I'm probably behind on some of these books. Next one I read, Catching Fire, and I know everybody and their mother has already read this series, but I'm a little slow. Totally enjoyed it, even more than The Hunger Games. This was beautifully written. I love Suzanne Collins, and her writing style was so fluid and easy to read, and I don't know, I was sucked in like right from page 1. And of course I had to read Mockingjay after that. So both of them, if you haven't read this series, which I doubt there's many left that haven't read it, you really ought to read it. I thoroughly enjoyed both of them, 5 out of 5 stars. And I watched both the movies. Those were fantastic as well. Well, not Mockingjay, of course, that's not out yet, but Hunger Games and Catching Fire. And I can't wait for the Mockingjay. That was probably my favorite of the 3 was Mockingjay, but I don't know, people probably disagree with that. A lot of people, I think, like Catching Fire better. And then next was Flesh and Bone by Jonathan Mayberry. Totally enjoyed Jonathan Mayberry's work. And he is like top gun in zombies. I love Benny and Mira. This series has flown through quickly, and I can't say that I've read many zombie books that I've liked better than this. And I have a few other zombie authors to try, but it's going to take a lot of the top Jonathan Mayberry stuff. So I'm looking forward to continuing on with Fire and Ash, which is after this. This one's book 3. So, and I really like that too because it's on here. It says book 3. So that's pretty cool. Totally enjoyed that one. Next I read was Triangles by Ellen Hopkins. This one was okay. It wasn't my favorite of Ellen Hopkins' stuff. I think I rated it a 3.5 stars. And I just think she's better at the young adult stuff. This is her adult book. What this one is basically is there's three women, and the book revolves around their stories. Our first one, Holly is having a midlife crisis or something, I guess, where she thinks she's been married too long and she hasn't really gotten to live. And then we got our second one, and her name was Andrea. And Andrea wants what Holly's got because she is divorced. She's not married now. And then our last one is Marissa, who is married, but she has a husband who's kind of checked out. And she's got a handicapped daughter, and she's really ill, and she's spiraling downward, and then she's got a rebellious gay son. And all three of them come together in this book, telling their tragic stories or whatever is going on. It's got a good storyline. It just didn't grab me as much as her young adult ones do. Next one, Tammy Hogue, Dust to Dust. This is book 2 in the Kovac and Lischka series. I love Sam Kovac. I can't say anything more than that. I loved how Kovac and Lischka was more in the scene in this book than they were in Ashes to Ashes. So that really kind of spunked the book up a little bit. I really like Tammy Hogue's writing. She's really, really very good, and I'm enjoying the series. There's 2 more for me to read in this. I've got the third one, Prior Bad Acts, but I don't have the third one or the fourth one yet. So I'll be getting that one soon, I'm sure. But I'm going to move on to the next book. And if you like mystery suspense, then you'll probably like Tammy Hogue. She's really, really good. The next one I read was Divergent by Veronica Roth. I know I'm slow again getting to this series. I've been behind on trying to catch up on these dystopian books and young adult books and what have you. But I absolutely loved it. Read it in a day. And I loved the whole premise of the book. I love the world that was created. And I really look forward to the next book, Insurgent. And I'm sure it's going to capture my attention just like this one did. And I just could not quit reading it. So if by chance there's anybody out there that has not read this series, you really should try it. Next one for me was Winter Garden by Kristen Hanna. And I really, 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 really wanted to like Kristen Hanna's work. And this one is pretty good. It's pretty much, the idea is there's 2 sisters, and they had kind of a dysfunctional family. Not to the point where the worst, not the worst of dysfunctional families. It was one half of it. Their dad was great. Their dad was wonderful to them, but their mother was Russian born, and she's very strict natured, but she also didn't want really much to do with her daughters. And they're trying to learn about their mom because their mom is just not one of those that shares stuff. And she has this fairy tale that she tells the girls, and they live in the moment when their mom is telling this fairy tale because she totally changes who she is when they're hearing it, when she's telling it. And this just makes the girls want to find out who their mom really is now that they're older. So it really was a very touching story, and I think you'd probably really enjoy it. And I do look forward to the other books that I have of hers. And then the last book I read was Tricks by Ellen Hopkins, and this book was phenomenal. There was so much going on in this book, and you got 5 teenagers, and there's 3 boys, and there are 3 girls, and there's 2 boys, and you're following their lives and what they go through and what they have to deal with and the hurdles they have to climb to try and make their lives a little bit better. And the influences in their lives are, like, the people are horrible. And I could never even imagine going through the stuff that these kids have to go through. And, you know, when you're reading it, you realize, you know, there are teenagers in this world today that are going through stuff like this. And it's just hard to imagine. And Ellen Hopkins writes with so much depth and so much realism that you almost feel yourself right there in the story. You can't help but feel what these kids are going through. And I just totally enjoyed it. And something that I was thinking to myself when I was reading this was I would love to see a companion to this book. and pull out these people that are taunting these teenagers or that are supposed to be helping them or raising them, and put them in their own book and make them live the lives that these teenagers have to live. And if you've never read Ellen Hopkins, you really should read Ellen Hopkins. She is phenomenal. I absolutely love her stuff. And she makes me feel so much with every book that I read. So if you ever get a chance, you know, pick up some of her books and read them, because they are fantastic. And that is the 11 books that I read for January. And I'm really proud of myself. I really did good, because I initially picked 8 books. So I ended up getting 3 more in there. So I was very happy with that. So now we're going to move on to my February TBR. If I can get these books over here without them falling all over the place. Okay, so for my February TBR, I've got The Dragon Factory. This is book 2 in the Joe Ledger series, and I'm so looking forward to getting back into this, because I think Joe Ledger would be my boyfriend, because he is like, I don't know, he's awesome. I love Joe Ledger, and the strength that this guy's got is amazing. I'm so looking forward to reading that one. The next one is Flight by Angie Sage. This is book 2 to the Septimus Heap series. So, totally enjoying this series again. I'm glad I decided to reread it. The next one is Insurgent. Now, we're actually going to be reading this starting tomorrow in my group. There's a few of us that are going to be reading it, and I'm really looking forward to getting into this next one. The next one is Jeffrey Deaver's XO. This is the 3rd book in the Catherine Dance series. And it's Jeffrey Deaver, what can I say? I'm really looking forward to getting into this one. I read this one actually last year, but it'll be nice to refresh my memory. I read it out of order because I didn't actually know there was an order at the time. So this is book 3. There's not going to be another Catherine Dance till next year, I believe. The next one is going to be Under the Never Sky by Veronica Rossi. This was picked for me from our Pick It For Me challenge in our group. Looking forward to getting into this. I've heard so many good things about this book, so keep my fingers crossed that I really enjoy it. Next one is going to be Robert McCammon's Boy's Life. This is also going to be a buddy read with some friends. I love McCammon's work. My favorite book of all time, well, can't say my favorite, probably number 2 is Swan Song. And that was the first book I ever read by McCammon, and it was phenomenal. So I'm really looking forward to this one, and I hope that I enjoy this one just as much. And the next one I'm going to read is, well, not in any particular order, but the next one I picked is Collateral by Ellen Hopkins. This is her 2nd adult book. So I'm hoping it's going to be a little bit better than Triangles was, but it sounds like it's going to be really good. I'll just read this. It says back here, loving any soldier, it's extremely hard loving a Marine who's an aggressive frontline marksman is almost impossible, especially when he's deployed. Cole's battalion has already deployed twice to Iraq and once to Afghanistan. Drawn down to be damned, Helmand Province and beyond looks likely for his 4th go-around. You'd think it would get easier, but ask me. 3 scratch-free homecomings make another less likely in the future. So basically it's a girl who is watching her man go away to Iraq all these times, and she's trying to deal with it. So that's breaking that down a little, make it a little more simple to understand that. It's a little confusing. So anyway, I'm really looking forward to reading that one. Next one, Angel Fall by Susan E. Looking forward to this one. I've heard so many good things about this book, and I'm finally going to get to read it this month, so looking forward to that. And then the last one I picked is Fire and Ash, the last one to the Benny Amira series. And like I said before, I love how it says on there, book 4. That's awesome. I love when they put the book numbers on the books, because sometimes you're like, which one goes next? And I always end up having to look them up. But anyway, I'm just mumbling now. So Fire and Ash is the last one that I picked. But now I started a book jar. So let's pick one out of the book jar. We got it right here. Oh, there's actually 2 there. Infinity by Sherilyn Kenyon. So that is going to be my 10th book for February. So hopefully I will get through all of these books for this month, and we'll see what happens. So anyway, you can read all the reviews to all these books. I will link to my blog below in the description, so you can read more full reviews on these books. But that is it for me, guys, and thanks for staying tuned, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.